Welcome to Champion Chinese. My name is Pei-Pei Champion. I'm the founder, CEO, and principal teacher at the Champion Chinese Language Institute. I'm a native Mandarin speaker from Taiwan, where I attended Tamkang University. I have a Master of Arts in Teaching degree from Smith College and a BA degree in Early Childhood Education from the University of Hartford. I have created the Champion Chinese program. Based on the theory of multiple intelligences, I employ many amusing stories, songs, and games, and I utilize analogies embedded with Chinese etymology, philosophy, history, art, music, and journalism into my program. This is a program that I use 2 to 5 hours to equip students with 37 phonetic sounding symbols. This is equivalent to 55-hour classroom instruction in Taiwan, and Pinyin to jumpstart their studying and their independent abilities to learn materials, written or printed in either traditional script, usually annotated in Zhuyin symbols, or simplified script, usually annotated in Pinyin system, in merely few hours of intensive study. I donated more than 10 years of Chinese and cultural programs to West Hartford Continuing Education and our neighborhood continuing education departments before. And I hope that I will be able to come back to work with our families and friends very soon. Today, I would like to give you a short instruction to the Chinese language. Chinese is very different from English, but it is also very interesting and useful. One big difference is that written Chinese does not have an alphabet. It uses written symbols, usually referred to as Chinese characters. There are two sets of scripts using nowadays by the world's people. They are traditional characters and simplified characters. Traditional characters usually are annotated in Zhuyin symbols, and simplified characters usually are annotated in Pinyin system. Traditional characters were developed in ancient times and are very interesting and logical. Simplified characters were developed in 1956 by the CCP China. They were created as transactional tools to lead the public to Romanize Chinese. However, Chinese traditional characters are actually not as difficult as people think. And Chinese is actually a language that cannot be Romanized. There are many reasons and secrets that can help us learn Chinese in a very interesting and effective way. I will start with how easy and fun we can work with the Chinese characters. Okay, now let's discuss the types of written characters. Chinese characters have 3 levels of meaning, which are number 1, pictographic, as in the characters actually look similar to the object it look alike. Number 2, ideographic, as in the different elements of the character have their own inherent meaning. Number 3, phonetic, as in the characters has pronounceable elements. Number 3, phonetic, as in the characters have pronounceable elements. The Chinese language has developed this depth of meaning through 5,000 years of refinement. Is Chinese a difficult or easy language? I will explain and let you decide, okay? First, we don't need to conjugate verbs. Do you like it? We don't need to conjugate the verbs. The second, there are no inflex nouns. Number 3, Chinese grammar is very simple. It's like English. You can almost just say the sentences in Chinese and you translate it word to word. That would be your English. Or you can just think in English and you translate it into Chinese, and that will be proper Chinese. Almost everywhere, okay? However, finally, there are only limited number of sounds. There are about 441 sounds, and there are tens of thousands of Chinese characters to match, okay? So therefore, tones are used to ease the problem. So we know a lot of people have the problem with tones, and Chinese has 4 tones, and sometimes there is a very neutral tone, very short and light, that would be called the 5th tone, like 你好吗, ma, okay? Ma is the 5th tone. So Chinese, we will say, is a subtle, impersonalized, so to speak. It's a confusing language, but it's easy. Let me show you how. First, I would like to show you a very heavy stone. Okay, I got this in the British Museum, and then I carried it in the airport, in the plane when I get into the custom. The custom police, they give me some problem, because it's heavy and solid and they don't know what that is. Okay, it's a heavy stone. Actually, this is called Rosetta Stone. Before this stone, like 200 years ago, okay, this is found by Napoleon's soldier in Egypt. And then 200 years ago, no one knew how to read Egyptian hieroglyphics. So this is their alphabet, okay, but nobody knows how to read it. But after Napoleon's soldier found this, his passion. I have this. Look at that. So, okay, but this is just to look at this is more clear. So, one person's passion for pursuing knowledge of ancient culture and history had decoded the secret of ancient Egyptian language. Okay, so this has 3 parts. One is the Egyptian hieroglyphics. This is the ancient Greek, and this is the modern Greek they were used at that time. Okay, so based on this is matching. So based on this tiny stone, the whole history of ancient Egypt has been decoded, and the veil has been removed. What I want to say is Chinese has been using the traditional script for about 5,000 years. I think dated from Shang Dynasty, we have the oracle bone. And then until Qing Dynasty, the first emperor unified the measurement, unified the language. And then it takes another hundreds of years until Tang Dynasty, about 1700 years ago. Tang Dynasty, this script has been settled down, has been settled. So since then, there is very, very little change, okay, of the script. So basically, if you are able to read and write the traditional Chinese script, you will be able to read almost 5,000 years of history independently, and you will be able to read classic, high-level Japanese and Korean manuscript. And of course, traditional Chinese script is the only surviving ancient written script that is still very commonly used by many, many people. Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, Southeast Asia countries, and Japan and Korea. Okay? So, I mentioned to you that I use 37 phonetic sounding symbols. Those are the sounding symbols. And then I have created I create the program. The first program is called Champion Chinese pronunciations. Okay, this is the foundation level. So this is the book, and then those are the flashcards that teacher and young children can use, and those are this is the book from my student. Okay, so she has already color. So this is the black and white coloring book, so that I will use stories, analogies, and songs to drill, and students will memorize 37 of those symbols in 2 to 5 hours. And basically in the third hour, student will be able to start reading using those symbols, okay, or the pinyin. So if you know the Popama doing symbol, 37 symbols, remember this is about 55 hours of instruction in Taiwan, first grade, okay? The pinyin system will be about 17 hours in our military, about 60 hours in mainland China. However, both of them we will be able to acquire in 2 to 5 hours using this program. And basically, because of this, I also use those symbols as parts, elements to create Chinese characters, because those symbols were originally derived from the traditional characters. Okay, so for about 100 years, people use this only as a pronunciation tool. Okay, but for me, I noticed it's very difficult for children to memorize 37 symbol, picture, and sound. Therefore, I create the system. You can see multiple intelligences. That is the method I use, the philosophy I base on. Okay, so for example, this is knife, right? This is a picture. This the sound is derived from this character. This is knife, right? So the Bopama symbol is derived from the pictographic, the picture, image of the Chinese character. And how I teach this, I would say, okay, this is the shape of a knife, sound of a machine gun. Children love to play with toy gun, and toy knives, right? So I teach children when you use knife and when you play with gun, you have to be very careful. You do not point at people, okay? Because they are dangerous. So the shape of the knife, the sound of the machine gun, the sound, right? So this is the way I associate the symbol I want children to memorize um, using the story, okay? So amazingly, students from 5 years old to adult, 70 something years old, my student, right? From the continuing education of West Hartford, they can memorize this in about 2 to 5 hours. Okay, so if you do not believe, I will show you. This is one of my very devoted students. So she's from Glastonbury, uh, amazing child. I met her in um, University of Hartford science, the high school or middle school for science. Okay, interesting. So I taught her as a enrichment teacher. So in one semester, total only 8 hours, believe it or not, for her and Alex. So Sophia and Alex, after the program, we still communicate with each other, and they are still interested in the Chinese. So there were some opportunities to compete in the court. It's the Chinese. It's the Language Teachers Association of Connecticut, and then so basically my student, they come back after they left me from the public school every year for 10 hours. So I would donate my 10 hours training them using the bopama, those symbols, doing symbols, and the traditional Chinese characters. And then in 10 hours, they will be able to memorize every single characters of the poem and every all the pictures, images of the character, and they know how to write, okay, and they can recite. So she has won the first time the third medal, and the second time she didn't get it because she thought it's too easy, so she kind of too relaxed. And the third time she came back, she got the second. And the fourth time she came back, she got the champion. Okay, so she won. She obtained scholarship, almost full scholarship to Smith College. Okay, so when she graduated from Smith College, she come back to tell me. She said, Miss Champion, you should go back. You should go back to school. You should go to Smith College. And therefore, I went back to school and I got my master's degree in teaching. So I want you to look at this picture. Okay? This is dragon. This is a dragon in traditional script. Now I want you to think about if you need to memorize these characters, how many times you have to copy so that you can rewrite these characters on the paper. How many? Some people say 50. Some people say 30. And some students even say 100. And I'll tell you, you don't need to even write once. But after you listen to my story, you will be able to write it in a very effective way. Okay? So, are you ready? Let's start. So, you have eyelash, don't you? Would you touch your eyelash for me? Touch. Don't poke your eyes. Okay, touch your eyelash, and then you use one to indicate the eyelash. Okay? And you have eyelids, don't you? You have upper eyelids, you have bottom eyelids. So you have, okay? And you have eyeball. Right? So now you have mouth. Your mouth is facing down and open, jagged. Imagine jagged's mouth. And this is upper teeth. Can you repeat? Bottom teeth. And don't forget this is open. And your mouth do not connect to eyes. Right? Okay. So here is the horn. So this is almost like a cross. And you erase this because it's sideways, okay? And this is the skull of the dragon. The skull, think about the dragon look sideways. Sideways, right? And this is the body. Body connect to the skull. Okay? Very long tail. And spikes, 1 and 2 and 3. 3 in Chinese means many. So this is dragon. Got it? Should we repeat it one more time? Okay, so you repeat after me while you are writing, okay? Say eyelash, eyelid, pupil, a circle, okay? Big pupil. This is mouth, facing down, do not connect. Say upper teeth, say bottom teeth. Okay, say the horn. Remember, look like the cross, okay? Erase this part. The skull is like a half rectangle. Tail. And 1 and the 2 and the 3. Look at the spikes. Right? Did you see the dragon? Did you see the dragon? Eyes, the teeth, okay, and the body, and the spikes, okay? So, and dragon is what? Very long, isn't it? Say, long. But dragon can fly to the sky, go up. Can you say long, long? Say long, fly to the sky and can go down, okay? Long, go up, long. Very good. So that's the sound. Isn't that easy? Why don't you try it? Okay, get a piece of paper and get your pen and write it down for me and see if you can do it. And while you are writing, I'm going to show you the simplified dragon. Okay. So, simplified dragon, this is big, okay? This is a dog. And simplified dragon is, and this is a person, okay? Person. And this will be upside down person. This means changing. So do you know what the simplified dragon actually means? Transform from dog. Okay? Transform from dog. But a lot of people couldn't understand. They just keep writing it. Okay? They don't know what they really are writing. But they think this is easier. The simplified dragon is easier than the traditional dragon. Okay? So, in my practice sheet, people will have opportunity to learn the real traditional character and the traditional character. And over here, I will separate them to tell you what they are. Okay, and this actually the skull and this body. This actually is one of our 37 sounding symbol, Bopoma symbol. This is called Shi. Pinyin is SHI. And whenever you see this, that means this character has something to do with body. It's animal body or human body. Okay? Human bodies. And here is the simplified Chinese character. So I have explained, and this is to teach you how to write it. Okay? So you should get those sheets in the program. So this is the way I introduce the characters. Okay, and have you noticed I use stories? I use the method Chinese people create a character. The dragon is basically what? Pictographic, right? It's a picture. You can see eyes, you can see mouth, you can see the horn and the head and the body. So it's completely a picture. And for the simplified characters, I don't know how I should explain it, but I just explain the parts of people, how they create these simplified characters. Okay, so basically, traditional script has been used by Chinese people at least since Tang Dynasty, that unified one, for almost 1700, 2000 years. Okay, 2000 years, about 2000 years. And then the simplified characters were created in 1956. Okay, and those Pokemon symbols were created by scholars in China during in about 1913, and the pinyin were created in 1931. Okay, the simplified characters originally were used as a stepping stone, right, to Romanize the Chinese characters. But I will tell you, Chinese is a language that cannot be Romanized, and we will discuss the reason why. Okay, so basically, in next program, I will introduce you more using more examples to tell you the differences between traditional script and simplified script, and how we can learn them in a very interesting and effective ways. We learn both. Okay, so I would like to equip my students and the public the knowledge and the tools how to master these two scripts, but only in a very efficient and very, very interesting and happy way. Okay, and then I would also give you some examples about 六书, how Chinese people create their language based on what. Okay, and then I will also use Chinese medicine, the characters of Chinese medicine, to explain to you how these 6 methods of creating Chinese characters are used in the Chinese medicine characters. Okay? So I hope you enjoy this program, and then I will see you very soon.